Apex Legends added arenas with the newest season. It's a 3v3 match similar to Counter-Strike or Valorant, where you buy your weapons and abilities before the start of each round. This week, I spent a little too much time playing it, so instead of my normal style of video in the Rhyno Project, I wanted to give my thoughts and opinions on it. And don't worry, next week we'll be back to the regular style of videos in the Rhyno Project. But until then, here's what I think about the changes and additions added in Apex Season 9 Legacy. Legacy was a big change to Apex. Not only did we see the introduction of Valkyrie, the newest recon legend, but we also saw changes to maps, weapons, and the introduction to arenas. The first thing I want to touch on has to be the newest legend. Kairi Imahara, aka Valkyrie, is the new Queen of the Skies. From a young age, she's been obsessed with flying, and stole her dad's Titan, Viper. Her backstory is extremely well done and is directly tied to Titanfall 2. But this video isn't about the story of the season, rather how the season feels. Valk has completely changed the way I'm playing Apex. I knew she was going to be a character I wanted to learn and master with the new season. So I started my journey on doing just that. When Season 9 launched, the first day was bumpy, but that was understandable. Apex has caught players back in, many of which haven't played since launch. This meant the servers were having a hard time keeping up. But Respawn being the awesome team they are, it was quickly fixed and my friends and I were ready to hit the ground running. Valk's entire kit was designed with verticality and suppression in mind. She can fly up with her jetpack, launch missiles with her tactical, and finally, her ultimate works like a mobile jump tower for her and her teammates. Jumping into Season 9, I had some experience of paying attention to vertical positioning from all of the other Horizon mains in last season. I was used to the fact that I needed to pay attention to height and positioning, especially in ranked. Valk threw me for a loop though. Her jetpack can also provide horizontal movement in addition to the vertical movement. I started to find myself in situations I used to feel comfortable in, only to get attacked from an angle I never accounted for. And while I'd get frustrated in the moment, it felt like a breath of fresh air. I was learning a different style of thinking. I couldn't just sit in one spot holding height. This season has made a point to change how you play. Gone are the days of just focusing on fights below that cliff or building. Now you need to keep your head on a swivel or run the risk of getting bowed by the team that landed behind you. Her introduction forces players to pay attention to what's going on, not only on the ground, but in the skies. Season 9 has been fun with the changes the new character adds, but there was another big addition that was a little bit less enjoyable, and anyone who has played this season knows what I'm about to talk about. The Bocek Compound Bow. Easily the most controversial addition to the game at the moment. This bow uses arrows, a unique ammo type that is found around the map. Adding a bow to a battle royale is a challenge, because it won't make the same noise as other weapons. It's one of the first truly silent weapons in Apex, and that alone would be a case for debate, but that was just the tip of the iceberg. The bow was introduced a little strong to say the least. It shoots fast, and with the added hop-ups for it, speeding up rate of fire or giving it a shotgun-style spread meant that everyone was using it. The bow was everywhere. Playing ranked meant you were sure to run into teams with at least one of them. One night in particular, while I was playing ranked, was when I really saw just how much the bow was impacting the game. I was playing with Madboy and Symphonic from the All Good crew, and we ran into teams with nothing but bows, and it was frustrating. It felt like it was dominating the game in an unhealthy way. Luckily, Respawn was quick to respond to these concerns on the balance for the weapon, pushing out a hotfix to change a few things on it, and while I won't bore you with details, ultimately it feels like a step in the right direction. The last thing I want to touch on with this season is quite possibly the biggest and best thing a game like Apex could have done. The new Arena game mode is completely different from Battle Royale, and Respawn has knocked it out of the park in their implementation of it. Apex over the past 2 years has been stuck to strictly Battle Royale. the different changes with new maps and legends have kept it interesting from season to season. But arenas was the key to getting those who aren't interested in the genre to jump in. Arenas are a 3v3 buy-based mode. What that means is you're not fighting against a myriad of different squads, it's just your team versus theirs. You start the match and pick out your loadout before jumping in to fight against one another, in one of 3 maps. Each map feels unique, with memorable designs inspired by or pulled directly from each of Apex's different maps. Phase Runner brings the concept of quick teleports and open spaces, with different sightlines and challenges in rotating against teams, through trees. Artillery returns from King's Canyon, in the rotating map slot that changes every other week, swapping between a locale from King's Canyon, Olympus, or World's Edge. I love this idea because it gives you the experience in each map from a battle royale that can be practiced in arenas and brought right into your matches. Finally, the last map, which is my favorite at the moment, is Party Crasher. With less focus on long sight lines than Phase Runner, Party Crasher is all about the close quarters of fighting, around Mirage's ship, and subtle changes in height. Because it's a 3v3, you can choose any gun from the buy menu. Arenas have become an integral part of play, especially when you just hop onto Apex. The matches are quick, with most matches averaging out to 10 minutes. Arenas are perfect for returning players, as well as anyone just getting into the game. The straightforward fights are perfect for learning different loadouts and team comps. I rarely used the 30-30 last season, because it just felt underpowered. With this season, it got a pretty substantial buff, and because of arenas, I could practice with it in a controlled environment. This was amazing for me. I was able to sit there for a couple nights, getting the hang of the changes they made, and once I was more comfortable with it, I found myself way more confident using it in Battle Royale, and even ranked. Nowadays, when I'm teaching a friend about the game, I push them to play arenas at the start. You get a strong understanding of how the guns work, getting a feel for gunplay while trying out different loadouts, and guns they might have skipped over otherwise. Besides just getting a better feeling on how to shoot, playing arenas with a squad of 3 is some of the most fun I've had with the mode. Loading up into a match and deciding who everyone was going to play was really helpful for testing out different legends and finding new ways to combo off one another. Arenas with a 3-stack means you get the full experience of fights and battle royales. You get it all from learning positioning, gunplay, and what my brother and I call micro-rotations. Going up against a team on artillery, you get a strong understanding of how to utilize cover while taking potshots at the other team. Playing on Party Crasher was amazing. You learn micro-rotations of pushing different directions or swapping people out when they need to heal. Means the average player can learn how to handle fights better than just hot dropping in Battle Royale. And with Season 9 only just beginning, I'm extremely excited to see what else Respawn has in store for the mode. They've already talked about adding more maps and introducing ranked into arenas down the line. Either way, arenas is one of the best additions Respawn has ever implemented into Apex Legends. Season 9 has many more changes and additions to the game that I could have talked about. And while I would love to mention things like the lifeline changes and all the tweaks to different weapons, I made this to give my initial thoughts on what Respawn has been doing. I played games my entire life, and Battle Royales are one of my favorite genres, but no other developer seems to have the same approach as Respawn. They don't just feel like developers working on the game, they feel as though they're right there with us in the community. They listen to the suggestions we have and are quick to make those changes when something doesn't feel right. For a long time, I used to say other shooters were my favorite, but Respawn has easily become one company that I want to support, a company I want to see grow and take on new things. Respawn knocked it out of the park with this season, and have proven to not only me, but the community that at the end of the day, they're just like the rest of us. They love games. If you made it this far into the video, first off, I want to say thank you for watching. I really appreciate it, and if you like the video, make sure to hit the like button. And if you feel differently about anything I mentioned in this week's video, let me know in the comments down below. Like I said, thank you for watching and subscribing to the channel. I really appreciate all the support you've given me over the past few months. It really means the world to me. And as always, have a good one. Peace.
Feeling like I should. I'm all good. I'm all good. Never knew I could. I'm all good. I'm all good. Feeling like I should. I'm all good. I'm all good.